This content schedule makes my coaching business over $160,000 a month and over $1.1 million in total with only a few thousand subscribers. Over my last 2 years as a coach, I've tried almost every strategy with YouTube, Instagram, ads, and the combination of them. And quite frankly, most of it is fluff and gimmicks that are just low leverage and don't actually make you money. Now, I'm Alex Newman, founder of my content agency, Seven Figure Creator. And on this channel, we talk about how coaches can get $100,000 months using organic YouTube videos that don't get many views. And what I'm going to share with you in this video is not a get rich quick strategy. It is a get rich guaranteed strategy that focuses on targeting very niche down aspects of your market and showing them value-based sales letters in order to indoctrinate them and sign them on as customers. So after years of data collection for both myself and my clients, this is what the week of content looks like on a color-coded basis of best to worst. So as you can see here, the green days are going to be days that are good to post on. Yellow days are going to be a little bit iffy to post on. Red's not posting, and Sunday is also kind of that iffy, but also not great. And I want to break down the reason why all this exists because it comes from viewer analytic data, which I'll be showing you in a second. However, when it comes to the actual posting schedule, it's pretty simple. You're going to post on Monday, you're going to post on Wednesday, and you are going to post on Friday here. And you might be asking yourself, Alex, well, why would you post on a yellow day? As I dive into the viewer analytics, you will see that Friday is a day that is cut in half. If you're able to post in the earlier section of Friday, so in the AM leading into the afternoon, it is still a green day to post on. It still has great viewer analytic data. And just showing you this busts so many myths that I see coaches fall victim to when it comes to the game of YouTube and content creation. Something that I get asked a lot is, hey, Alex, should I just post 5x weekly, or even should I post 7 times weekly and just try and do daily long form videos? And when you look at this and you really understand it, you'll understand that, hey, posting on these additional days here is not actually going to yield your audience, and it's going to actually destroy your give to ask ratio because your existing relationship with your viewers is going to be broken. Now, if you just copy the posting schedule alone, you will not see success with this. You have to understand that the posting schedule is merely an extension of your ICP's viewer behavior data. And just as a caveat to that, if you actually do have the correct input for a long enough time horizon, you're guaranteed results. And I also tell my clients this all the time. Good videos will always end up performing. It might just take a while. I have plenty of videos on my own channel that when I first uploaded maybe had less than 100 views, but as time goes on and I begin to thresh out myself in my space, they'll get more and more views, and then as a result perform as they probably were meant to when they first got uploaded, just because YouTube now knows my audience. Now, as we dive into a little bit more on the viewer analytics end, I want to cover the scheduling versus direct upload debate, and I'll let you know that it is a complete myth. Now, it is not a myth that there are objectively better times to post than others, and that's especially true when you're trying to attract qualified buyers. Therefore, scheduling is going to be the best tool in your asset because you're a business owner and you don't have time to stop what you're doing and post videos. It's just another distraction on your plate, and if you can schedule it one time and forget about it, it is going to be a system that actually runs. Now, to add, your posting schedule is pretty much the springboard for your entire channel. The reason why is because you have the highest percent chance of catching your ICP demographic when you post during a populated time. As you can see here for myself and my clients, that is usually going to range between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern time because it catches the European time zone when it's around 6 p.m. their time. It also catches Pacific time, which is 3 hours earlier. And it's just really when most of America, which is the biggest audience for buying coaching programs, are awake online and on their computer. And this is in a vidIQ extension. If I were to actually look at my viewer analytics on YouTube, you can see it is unanimous across the board that between this window of around 12 to 3-ish, and actually going back to 9 a.m. to 3-ish, the most viewers are online just by the representation of like how dark or how bright this purple color is. Now, given the reason why that is so important is because if you, for example, were to post a video at midnight, what would happen is it would likely be shown to people in another time zone. At midnight Eastern time, that is going to be 6 a.m. for EU, which is probably not when they're watching YouTube videos. And for LA, it's going to be super late at night, so they're not going to be awake. And what that means is it's probably going to attract buyers in Asia. So you're going to get Middle Eastern countries. And quite frankly, unless you're trying to get people from Dubai, these countries are known to bring in tire kicker leads that aren't going to buy your product. Therefore, when you post a video and they are the main people that watch it at that given time, it's going to compound and show it to more people with that same viewer profile in the same location. And then as a result, your video might get a lot of views, but it's not actually going to get you any buyers. And that's why it's so important important to post when your ICP is actually online. Now, the first biggest mistake when it comes to posting is artificially pushing your videos. I specifically at my agency work with coaches who are usually just getting their channel off the ground, meaning that they probably don't have initial traction. And what always happens with videos is we're going to upload the first few videos and the graphs will look something along the lines of a completely flat chart with maybe a little bit of an uptrend and a little bit of views here. Between this, I guess, mark to just having absolutely zero, they might have around 30 views around this mark. And what will happen is videos will typically flatline, sit at this point for a few days, and then what will happen is randomly one night, YouTube will find the viewer profile and the video will spring up like this and jump to whether it's 500 views, whether it's 1,000 views. The highest I've had it go to on a completely fresh channel is around 5,000 views overnight. And the reason why this happens is because YouTube is looking to actually go ahead and serve it to the right audience. If you have a video that's not getting new impressions, but the metrics are dialed in, it means YouTube is slowly trying to find out who this video is actually for. And all you have to do is be patient, and with time, the video will begin to perform, so long as the metrics, the click-through rate, and the watch time are in check. Now, what typically happens with the clients that have not produced content before, it's even almost a part of my onboarding at this point, is I get the question, well, hey, Alex, should I post this to my Instagram story? Should I share it with my community? And my answer to them is almost always the same, which is just no. And there's one caveat to that I'm going to explain in this video. But the reason why you cannot push it out to your Instagram or any of your broad socials is because you don't know if it's purely your ICP watching. So when a video is around this 30 view mark and it doesn't really have any traction, it is extremely fragile. So let's say you throw it on your Instagram story, you don't listen to this advice, and what goes ahead and happens is one of your buddies from high school goes ahead and watches this video. This guy on YouTube, the other videos on his recommended are NFL videos, he's got sports videos, maybe he has gaming videos, and what this signals to YouTube is, oh, this person that likes this content is now going to watch this video. So then YouTube goes, oh, okay, this must be the person that likes this video. And then as a result, it's going to show it to them. And it's a negative compounding cycle that almost just like spins all the way down. Now, this is so dangerous because your friends and family are typically going to watch the entire video. And then as a result, it signals to YouTube that the person that likes this stuff also likes this video, and then it shows it to more people like that, and the video flops, the click-through rate dies, and then you might jump up to around 60 views-ish, like up here, but then the video is absolutely flatline dead and will never have this exponential performance here, and it's just because you cashed in the chips too early and you got impatient. Now, the only caveat to that I've actually seen work is when you have owned attention. So for example, if you had an email list of specific ICP people that you've either got from ads or just previous content in the past, and you know these people are the specific kind of person you're trying to attract with your content exclusively, and you share it to them, it will have a positive compounding effect. However, once again, you have to be extremely careful because it is a high risk and low reward kind of thing. If you were to just wait and play it the way that YouTube's algorithm works, just play the game of YouTube algorithm, there's a much higher chance of you having the video perform and actually show it to the right people, so you don't have this artificially plumped up channel that only relies on your other socials. Now, the second biggest mistake I see is just straight up inconsistency. A lot of coaches need to understand that when they're posting content, it is a relationship one-to-one with many, many people. However, that relationship one-to-one has an expectation set at whatever quality you're posting at and also whatever cadence you're posting at. So what that means is that when a viewer watches your video and they're an avid loyal follower, they expect a certain amount of videos a week, and they also expect a certain quality around that. And you begin to create a lot of mistrust and break a lot of the authority that you have in a relationship whenever you are inconsistent. And a lot of times, skilled entrepreneurs aren't actually inconsistent with the content frequency. What they're inconsistent with, once again, is the quality. One video might be a Miro board, one video might be a lifestyle video, and then as a result, your viewer doesn't know why they watch you anymore, and then we'll just go ahead and unsubscribe. Now, the next things are overestimating the complexity of the system. I will just quite frankly share, the better that I get at YouTube, the more simple my process comes for creating, because I just have the skills embedded into myself as a person, and then also creating each video by itself, not batching, and having no buffer of videos. Now, to solve this and to share some quick wins that you can actually do, the first thing is adding chapters to your video to attract buyers. People that buy from your content like to be informed as to what each section is about, as you can probably see on this video below. And if you can add these chapters, it's going to allow them to jump through the video to actually get the value that they'd like. And in all the data we've gone through, it almost always has a positive effect on the viewer retention. The second thing is publicly sharing your posting schedule with viewers in order to set the expectation and the relationship. And then what that's going to do is for previous viewers on your channel, it's going to allow them to understand that there's a change going on. And for new people to your channel, it's going to allow them to really understand what the purpose is. On this channel, I talk about how coaches can get $100,000 a month using YouTube. And because of that, anybody who doesn't fall under that demographic, that doesn't apply to, isn't really going to care about these videos, which means that I'm not going to get as many views, but I'm going to get much more qualified views. The next thing is you always have the ability to re-upload videos. This is something that I tested while I was actually on vacation and was not able to post new videos. I just tried re-uploading old videos with new packaging, and funny enough, it actually did really well, and I got some videos that before might have not done so well to actually perform on the algorithm and get a bunch of views. And the second thing is also creating ultimate guides. So if you have a backlog of videos on your channel that are all around a given topic, you'll always have the ability to, if you don't have a video to post or you just don't feel like making content, to combine all those videos into one ultimate guide, slap on a 30-second intro, and then just have it be an extremely long ultimate master guide tutorial that once again you stamp up with chapters and is now going to be a great asset when it comes to converting customers that you can position as a course. Now, if you'd like to find out how my agency can take care of this entire process done for you to make your videos and scale your coaching business to $100,000 a month, you have the ability to schedule a call down below or message me on Instagram. But regardless, I hope that the value you got from this video is worth the time that you spent, and I'll see you in the next one.